Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to this new video for the dress Natalie. The Natalie dress pattern is available as a PDF file in all my shops. The links you'll find below this video here. I'm wearing, by the way, my organza Natalie dress here, where I played with the lower tier, as you can see. What I'm wearing underneath is my shorts and top combination with a potato print. I'm linking you the video to it here. Another very obvious idea to make something else out of this dress pattern is, of course, to make it shorter as a top because of these horizontal dividing seams here. So there are two options how to make a top out of the Natalie dress, and here are the two possibilities. So number one is to make only the first tier of the skirt part, and then you have this kind of top. And the second idea is to make no tier at all and to make a crop top. The bow here is some extra design idea, but you will see later in this video it was quite necessary. The sewing process of these tops are really similar to the dress. So here I'm only pointing out to some few differences, but in general it's more or less the same. So let's get into the making process of these tops, and of course don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. So these are the pattern pieces I've already cut out of my fabric. The top parts with the neckline facings, and these also in a soft interlining. Then the first skirt tier and the sleeve pieces. Then I'm sewing the top together, like it's described in the sewing instruction for the dress for Natalie. By the way, I'm linking you the video here. And after all the sewing, casting and ironing, only the hem is now missing. And that's the moment when you should try on your Natalie top. So here I am in front of a mirror with my Natalie top on and a basic jeans. Now I'm trying out the perfect length for my Natalie top, and I'm fixing this with pins or clips. I'm just folding the excess length to the wrong fabric side. The width of this fold can be different, of course, depending on your body height or your styling ideas. I'm only folding the hem at the front to check the length, and I think this will look quite nice also for the back side. I also haven't threaded in yet the elastic tape into the sleeve hem, and I think I will leave it like this because I like it quite much, I have to say. Here I'm now measuring how many centimeters I've folded for the hem, and these are 4 centimeters in my case, so that means I will make a 2 by 2 centimeter hem now. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm preparing the hem and I'm ironing it and fixing it with pins. Afterwards, I'm stitching the hem from the right fabric side. And then this Natalie top is ready. I've recently bought for myself a rotary cutter and a cutting mat so that I can cut up all the tiny fabric rests. This is what you see me doing here, and later I'll use these as a filling material for stuffed animals, for example. I really wanted to reduce my fabric waste, so I'll do this with all fabric rests which I cannot use for anything else. So here's now how I made the crop top version of the Natalie dress. Here you see me cutting all the pattern pieces. These pattern pieces are the top parts, the neckline facings and the sleeves. That's the rest of my fabric, and out of this I will cut later the fabric rectangle to make a tunnel at the hem for the elastic tape, and at that point I planned some kind of bow detail, but I had no concrete idea yet. But as you will see very soon, reality happened faster than my idea came. Then I started with the sewing. As you can see, the sleeves are already ready. I've almost finished the top parts, only the side seams are still open. But unfortunately, when making the neckline, my iron was a little bit too hot and I burned my fabric, as you can see it here. The taffeta fabric is in polyester and I melted the fabric here. So from then on, the position of my bow detail was clear. It had to cover this point here. So I've cut 2 stripes with a width of 20 cm and the length over the whole fabric width to make the bow ties. These I'll fold now lengthwise to the half and make fabric tunnels, and then afterwards turn them over to the right fabric side so that I have clean edges. The ends of the bow ties I've sewn in a pointy way, and here I'm turning them around now to the right fabric side. Afterwards, I'm pressing flat the ties. The bow ties should later come out of the side seam, so here I'm now trying out the angle on my dress form, and I'm also pinning the bow tie to the top part. As I don't want to have a visible seam later, I'm pinning and sewing the tie on upwards, and later I'm folding it downwards and only then integrating into the side seam. Of course, I'm taking care that both sides look symmetrically. Here I'm now stitching on the ties, just very tightly along its edge. This is now the first side, and of course I have to repeat this for the other side. So this is how the top looks like now. Here I'm cutting off the excess fabric of the ties along the side seams. And of course afterwards I have to cast these raw edges at the ties, and then I can close the side seam now. Then it's time to set in the sleeves. This is what I'll do as a next step. I'm just following the instruction of the basic dress. Then I have to make the hem of the crop top. Here I want to make an elastic tape in a fabric tunnel, so here I'm preparing this. I've already cut a fabric stripe which has the double width of the elastic tape plus 2 cm of seam allowance. And for the length of this stripe I'm now measuring the width at the hem of the top like it is now. And to that I'm adding again 2 cm of seam allowance. Here I'm now cutting the fabric stripe in the correct length as I've calculated it. And now I have to join both ends of the stripe. This seam here, by the way, is just because I didn't have enough fabric. At this joining seam I'm pressing apart the seam allowance afterwards, and I'm also folding this stripe lengthwise into the half with the right fabric side to the outside, and now I'll pin this to the top part. And this is right fabric sides together. That means the stripe is now pinned to the outside of the top and all the open edges are aligning.
Afterwards, I'm sewing the stripe to the hem with 1 cm seam allowance, but not completely. I leave open a small space of a few centimeters so that I can insert now my elastic tape. That's what I'm doing here with the help of a safety pin. The length of the elastic tape I've tried out before on my body, just below the chest area. And of course, there too I have to add at least 2 cm for the overlapping of joining the ends. Here I'm sewing together the ends of the elastic tape. Then I'm pushing and pulling so that the elastic tape enters completely into the fabric tunnel at the hem. Now I can also close that space which I've left open before for the elastic tape. That's what I'm doing here. At last, I'm now casting the open raw fabric edge. And in my case, of course, I have to thread in the end of the overlock seam into that seam. Then the top is ready, and here I'm cutting all my fabric rests into tiny little pieces for my upcycling or sustainability reasons for stuffing things. Look here, my box is already getting quite full.
Okay, that's it. As you can see, the dress Natalie comes with quite a few possibilities. And if you want to see more pictures of my creations or get more creative input, check out my Instagram account. The handle is this one here. I'd love to see you there. But of course, if social media is nothing for you, you can also subscribe to my creative newsletter. The link for it is also below this video here. And subscribe to my YouTube channel here, of course. Hopefully, I will see you soon again to my next video. Take care until then. Bye!